Comfort zone. I mean, everybody loves to be comfortable, right? I mean, I love being comfortable. Have you ever sit down on a couch and you're so comfortable and then somehow someone calls you and say, hey, can you bring me something from the kitchen? Oh, it's annoying, right? I hate it. My mom used to do it all the time. I'm like comfortable and watching a movie and then somehow my mom will call me and I'm like, yeah, mom, what's up? She'll be like, can you give me something? I'm like, mom, but you're already up. We all love being comfortable because in the comfortable place, you don't need to move. You're still, right? You're not challenged, it's relaxing, it's good. But it's also dangerous to be too comfortable in the comfort zone. Sometimes you want to be around the same people who talk like us, who believe like us, who do things different. Yes, I know, it's easy to be around people who makes you comfortable, but I want to challenge you because there is nothing new around being in the comfortable place. The comfort zone is boring sometimes because there's nothing new. You don't learn anything new out there. It's the same things, the same routine, the same knowledge. Now, getting out of your comfort zone, you faces sometimes knowledge you wouldn't see. You get to see other people. You get to learn so much. You get to be challenged. And I think that there is growth where there is challenge. We have to be challenging ourselves because the world is bigger than you. The world is bigger than I. There is so much more out there. But if you're always around the same things and the same people, you don't get to see all the other things that God is doing in other people's lives. I know it's easy to say, well, I don't want to get out of my comfort zone. It's okay. But there is diversity outside of the comfort zone. You get to hear things in a different way. It is important to see people who don't think like you. It is important to have conversation that makes you uncomfortable because that's where growth is. That's where your mind is expanded. Unfortunately now with social media, if you hear anybody who says something different that you don't agree with, you bully them, you attack them, you get uncomfortable. And sometimes the words that people use are so hateful, because they're uncomfortable with what someone else have to say. Now, everybody around you won't believe the way you do. Everybody around you won't see things the way you do. But it is important that you be comfortable being uncomfortable. It's okay being uncomfortable. It's okay to have those conversations that you don't necessarily agree with, but try to put yourself in other people's shoes. It's okay to be around people sometimes you're like, I don't understand why you did this. Can you try to explain it to me? Because it's important to embrace diversity. You know, you don't know how far you can go if you never stretch yourself far enough to see how much you can go. Because whenever we are always in our comfort zone, we become judgmental, we become still, we don't learn. And usually people who don't get out of their comfort zone are people who tend to be hateful, but they don't know that they are hateful. Now this world is bigger, and this world will continue to be bigger than you and bigger than I. But unless we are willing to be around people who makes us uncomfortable, unless we can learn how to love those who makes us uncomfortable, have a friend over and say, hey, I know that we don't always see things eye to eye. Have someone who don't believe like you, who don't go to the same church as you, who don't have the same skin color as you, and have those conversations that maybe are gonna make you uncomfortable, but they will push you to grow. They will expand your thinking, they will expand your mind. And you remember, we are how we think. And it is important that sometimes we are willing to get out of our comfort zone. We are willing to be uncomfortable because diversity will always shape your capacity to love, your capacity to think. It's always easy to love those who look like you, who make you uncomfortable. But try to love those who don't make you comfortable. Try to love someone who is not always agreeing with you. It is hard, right? So you don't know how far you can love or how far you are compassionate if you're always around those who are never disagreeing with you. So it is okay to be uncomfortable. It is okay to have friends who are different. It is okay to have friends who don't like the same food as you do, who don't like the same music as you do. There is nothing wrong with change. There is nothing wrong with diversity. There is nothing wrong with having people who don't have the same personality as you, because it's through those people that you get to experience life. It's through those people that you get to see that God's creation is beautiful, is diverse, is challenging. It is challenging. And it is okay to be around those who challenge you. And I think that many times we are comfortable. We are comfortable being around those who don't challenge us. And remember, wherever there is no challenge, there is no growth. And if we want to grow more, and if we want to expand our thinking and expand our capacity to live and to be compassionate, we must also be okay being around those who makes us uncomfortable. We must be okay hearing things that don't necessarily make us comfortable.